Today we're going to be talking about the steps to buy a house. This is going to be an overview of what to expect as a home buyer and what your steps are. So step number one is you need to get pre-approved. I would ignore the affordability calculators online. I would actually ignore most of the calculators online. I've played with all of them. None of them are accurate. If there was a super accurate one, I would be talking about it in videos. So step one, if you want to get pre-approved with my team, we're licensed in 48 states, everywhere but Utah and Rhode Island, zerostressmortgage.com. Great. Okay. So let's say you fill out the application. What's going to happen next? So what's going to happen next is my team, Jolene or Missy, are going to look at the file. Make sure you unfreeze your credit before you fill out the application. And I say that because we are going to do a soft credit check. So they'll reach out to you and introduce us. We're going to review your application. Okay. And then one of the gals from my team is going to call you, go through the application. We're going to collect documents from you. We're going to send you a list of what we need. Now, a lot of times people go, well, how can I be prepared? Look, there's some obvious stuff. If you're self-employed, have your tax returns ready. Don't upload anything until we ask. Very important. If you are salaried or commission or whatever, we're going to need your W-2s for the last 2 years. Maybe only 1 year. So once again, just have it ready, but don't send it to us. Pay stubs for the last 30 days, not a year's, just 30 days. And then we're also going to want bank statements. But a lot of times with the bank, we can do it electronically. The reason why I say to get this stuff put aside, but don't upload it, is because we're only going to ask you for the documents we need. And the reason I don't do the big videos about like, what documents does a lender need? It's because it's determined by the computer once you fill out the application. So really important to note that. Now, with my team, we're actually going to put you through processing and underwriting, fully underwrite your pre-approval. And then you and I get on the phone. We're going to spend 30 to 40 minutes talking about your housing goals, talking about payments. You know, that's the thing. There's a lot of times where we go through all of that, and when I talk to the buyer, they go, oh, I can't afford that. And I go, okay, what are you comfortable with? And we dial it down. It's so important that you go through that step. A lot of times people rush to the real estate agent, they rush to the house, and then they figure out they can't afford it, but they're already emotionally in. So payments, closing costs, what to expect, how to negotiate, all that fun stuff. Once you are financially prepared, you go to step two. Step two is you're going to look for a real estate agent. Now, a lot of times people just reach out to a friend or family member and they go with whoever they recommend. Don't do that. Do research. You know, look at who's selling a lot of houses. Whose signs are you seeing around? You know, interview a few. Yes, you can interview agents. Have them do a buyer's consult. If someone's like, I'll take you to see houses, but you got to sign this, and they're not asking you anything besides how many bedrooms and bathrooms, that's not the agent you want. You want an agent that's going to take the time to educate you, empower you, but most importantly, figure out your needs so that they can tailor what they're doing for you. This is not asking a lot. I just say that because sometimes buyers are so intimidated by real estate agents and lenders. Do not be intimidated by any of them. Interview a couple and see who you click with. It's imperative you click with them. Okay, so we've already fully underwritten you. We've gone through your payments and closing costs. You're ready. You've got your agent. We've talked to your agent. Your team's together. We're ready. Let's go. Now what? Now you go shopping. So you're going to go shopping based on what you are comfortable with payment-wise. So important. You're going to start looking at houses. You're going to go look at the houses and find out that you're being catfished. So normal right now. Okay. So you're going to go shopping. Once you find a house, the real estate agent and you are going to come up with what your offer is. Now, I always recommend that you ask the real estate agent for comparable sales. Just because a listing agent has a price, let's say it's $300,000, it doesn't mean the house is worth that. Sometimes they just make up numbers. So when you're writing an offer, you want to know like, hey, what are the odds that this is worth $300,000? Because you don't want to pay for inspections and an appraisal and then all of a sudden find out the house is worth $220,000. Yes, that stuff happens, okay? So you and your agent are gonna talk about the offer, if you need help with closing costs, which is totally normal. I'm actually more shocked when people can pay their closing costs or they want to. I'm not even kidding. Like most of the first-time home buyers, even second, third, everyone wants the seller to pay their closing costs, and I get it. I want them to pay mine too. So you're gonna talk about how you write your offer. If you have questions about the payment or how much do I need in closing costs, you're gonna reach out to myself and my team, and we're gonna get you that information. You want to put in that strong offer. Now, in some cases, we'll call the listing agent too. It depends on what the buyer's agent wants, but sometimes the lender just calling and introducing themselves and letting them know, hey, they're fully underwritten. They did their homework. It helps you get the offer. Okay, really important. So let's say the seller accepts your offer. Woo, great news. Okay, so what happens next? So I always tell people, hey, call us, just call us. Even if the real estate agent says they're gonna send the purchase contract, call us so we know it's coming. Sometimes stuff will go to spam, sometimes someone will forget. It's just not worth the risk. So you're gonna let us know that the seller accepted your offer. And then once we get the contract, we put the file together. Now, the way we're gonna put the file together, we're gonna talk to you about rates. We're gonna say, hey, do you wanna lock? What do you wanna do? What's our strategy? We'll talk about strategy, what we're seeing in the market. Depending on what the condition of the house is, we may order the appraisal day one. Sometimes we'll wait till inspections. I like to order it early, just because there's lower stress that way, but we'll talk about it, okay? It's a conversation. That's why I wanna know as soon as you're in contract, because once we get that contract, we want to be having that conversation. It's important. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, I've been in contract for 10 days and my lender hasn't talked to me. Yeah, that's not a good sign, friend. That is not a good sign. No, the day you're in contract is the day that these conversations about rates, what to expect, etc., should be happening. Okay, so you're also going to be talking to your agent at this time about inspections. Now, I always recommend that you find your own inspector, or at the bare minimum, you're really researching the inspectors the real estate agent gives you. Never blindly trust. I cannot stress that enough. So you're going to be coordinating with your real estate agent, the inspector, because they have to get access to the house. Now, I'm going to be doing all my loan magic. If my team needs anything, we'll be letting you know, but you're going to be working with your agent to get that inspector in. I always recommend, if you can, go to that inspection. Seriously. And they'll be like, yeah, come at 2 because we'll be done at 2 and we'll walk you through it. Come at 1:45 and go and look around the house yourself, bring a little notebook, write anything that you have any concerns about. Okay? Cannot stress that enough. Then when they go through the house with you, you're also going to ask about your items. You need to look at a home inspection as a future budgeting tool, because it's telling you what to expect that you're going to have to repair over the next 5, 10, 15 years in many cases. If the roof's fine right now, but they're saying it only has about 5 years left, well, guess what? If you buy that house, you want to start thinking about saving for that roof now. Okay, really important. So look at the inspection, not just to make sure it's something you want to buy, but as a budgeting tool. So we've ordered the appraisal, the inspector, and you have gone out, you like the house, great. Maybe there's a couple things that you want to negotiate on. Your real estate agent would be negotiating with the seller if there's stuff that you want repaired. Sometimes people want a bigger closing cost credit because of things. Your agent negotiates that, okay? Now, once that's happened and the appraiser's gone out, let's say the appraisal's back and it's at value, great. We've got everything done. Sometimes what I'll hear is, okay, you're done. Can we close early? And I'm like, yeah, as long as everybody wants to. That's the thing. Just because the lender's in a position to close doesn't mean that you want to close, right? You may be wanting to close, let's say you want to close March 1st because you want your payment to be in May instead of closing at the end of February and having an April payment. That comes into play. But the seller may not be ready to close early either. Very important. So all that stuff's been done. Cool. Now what? Well, you're going to have to go to a signing, or a notary comes to you and you're going to sign your final loan docs. Depending on the state you're in, sometimes you get the keys same day, but there's other states where you sign and it will be a day before you get your keys. That's something that you can talk to your real estate agent about what to expect. Now, When you sign, that's when you bring your final money, if money's due, right? If you're doing a down payment, if you're doing, conventional FHA jumbo, yeah, you're going to be bringing in money at close. The title or attorney is going to be giving you that number the day before you sign in most cases, which I would argue is the most frustrating part of the process. Like, I wish those numbers were firmed up sooner. So you're going to sign the documents, you're going to wire or bring a cashier's check. The title or attorney will give you that information. At that point, you're either getting your keys or you're waiting a day. Now, once you get the keys, that is when I don't care as a lender what you do. I want you to be happy and healthy, right? But if you decide that you want to open up a Macy's card, great. I'm not watching you anymore. Now, do I recommend getting into a lot of debt after closing? No. Do a lot of people do it? Yeah, I've done it. We've all done it, right? You get a new house and you want to put a ton of stuff in it. Just wait. Just give it 6 months. So when you're working with my team and I, we set up a closing call and we go through everything to expect for the next few months. But look, that's the home buying process in a nutshell. It's really not dramatic or stressful. Where you see the stuff where it's like, it's dramatic, it's usually like someone started looking on Zillow, they clicked a button, they got some random agent because that agent paid Zillow. They got pushed into a house. They'd only seen 2 houses. They didn't really do inspections because the agent said they didn't need them. Then they realize it's leaking. Like, there's some level of drama going on, and it's just because of lack of prep. The other one that's really big is people go to the real estate agent, they get in contract, then they look for a lender. A week later, they get the payment and they freak out. Right? Because they're like, I can't afford this. That's the thing. Lenders can qualify you for stuff that you can't afford, or they don't qualify. So let's go through the steps real quick, the big ones, so that you know the order. Number 1, get fully underwritten and pre-approved. Let's go through closing costs. Let's go through payments. Make sure you're comfortable. Number 2, research that agent. Make sure you're working with someone who cares about you for the long term, not someone where you're just a lotto ticket. Number 3, go shopping. Number 4, find that house. Number 5, you're in contract. Let's go. And then number 6, we're going to be getting that appraisal, getting that inspection, making sure the house is worth buying. And number 7, you're closed. You're a homeowner now. Congratulations. So super, super straight lined, low drama if you follow the steps in the right order. It's when you start mixing them around that it gets a little hairy. So questions, comments, want to get pre-approved, please reach out. 786-933-2077, call or text, fill out the app, zerostressmortgage.com. If for any reason we look at your app and we're like, hey, you don't qualify right now, we're going to go through what you can do to get to where you want to be or what you qualify for now. And do we charge for that? Like for my team to work on your file? No. Now look, if you are a non-veteran buyer, yes, we do charge for the credit report if we do a hard pull. It is $30 a person. Veterans, we waive it for. We also waive our lender fees for veterans. But look, we're here to get you to the finish line. Buying a house doesn't have to be hard. This was just an overview of how to buy a house. Thanks for watching.